Recently, a rumor broke out from the Chinese media that Chinese President Xi Jinping is stepping down, and his replacement will be the guy named Wang Yang. This news is sending shockwaves around the world. Of course, many people have doubts about this and think that it might be another fake news released by Xi's opponents, or is it some kind of camouflage that was set up by Xi to deceive the world? So what is the actual situation there? Is Xi really going to step down? And who is this guy Wang Yang anyway? You will find it out in today's program. Welcome to Beyond the News, I'm Faye. First, let's talk about the source of these rumors. According to a number of media outlets, the rumor came from an anonymous high-ranking CCP official. The official told the media that after some internal discussion amongst the CCP's headgang, Wang Yang will be Xi's replacement and Xi will step down next year. Even though this rumor won't be able to be confirmed, there have been two interesting signs showing that Wang Yang's position ranking in the party is going up. The first one was about 10 days ago on August 17th. She hosted the 10th meeting of the Central Committee of Finance and Economics. We did talk about this meeting in our last episode. Now, what's interesting is that in the official statement released afterwards this meeting, there were two interesting signs that drew people's attention. One was about the word used when describing one's role in the meeting, from attended to participated. The other was about the order in which one's name was listed. He has been upgraded and was listed at the third position, just behind President Xi Jinping and the Premier Li Keqiang. You may know when it comes to the CCP's top-level officials' naming order for public statements like these, the CCP has always been very serious, and they will not make a mistake in such a list. So this change is indeed quite significant. And in China, getting such orders right is very important for those CCP mouthpieces. The state-controlled media outlets not only have the propaganda function, but also they're often used as a tool for the CCP party's internal political struggles. As a result, the wording of these statements, particularly the top dog's naming list order, has been a significant reflection of relevant officials' real power in the party. For example, according to a former journalist in China, if the order of the name list was done wrong, something like saying Premier Li Keqiang and President Xi Jinping, instead of saying President Xi Jinping first and then Premier Li Keqiang, it is a very serious political error that reflecting the media's political stance and possibly get the media boss fired at the very least. With that in mind, let's go back to this economic meeting and have another look at the wordings. First, it was the use of participated instead of attended for Mr. Wang. To understand this, let's first look at Wang's position in the party. As a member of China's Politburo, the highest decision-making body in China, Wang was the chairman of China's National Committee, so his position is not exactly related to finance and economics. In the past, when Wang went to an economic meeting, the media report would always use the word attend, not participate. Attend just means that he went to the meeting, listened to other people's speeches. Participate means he is more involved and possibly did a speech himself. Therefore, just from this one word, it signifies that Wang's position has been moved up in the party. On top of the wording changes, there is also the change of the order in which one's name is mentioned in the media. It is a simple fact in the CCP's world that the more towards the front position your name can be listed, the more power you have got within the party. And Mr. Wang was listed just behind the president and the premier. That was not all the story yet. What's also interesting is that 2 days after that meeting, on August 19th, Wang led a group of representatives traveling to Tibet for a ceremony to commemorate the 70th year anniversary of Tibet's liberation, they say, but the proper word, I think it will be taken over. Now, the strange thing is, for the past 20 years, every CCP leader who led these Tibet ceremony events had later become CCP's next top dog. For example, a decade ago in 2011, it was the then China's Vice President Xi Jinping who went and led the 60-year anniversary event in Tibet. 10 years before that, it was China's former president Hu Jintao who led the 50 years anniversary in person. So logically speaking, does that mean Wang will be China's next president? Before giving you my opinion on this, let's first see two types of theories floating around the internet. One is that Wang will be the next president, and the other is no. Let's have a look at both theories. For the saying Wang will be the next president, it means Xi has lost the political struggle within the party. Therefore, he was forced to step down. As a result, Wang was picked by the top dogs behind the scenes to be the next president. Another theory is that Xi didn't really step down, or this was a camouflage created by Xi himself. In recent months, different countries around the world have been closing in on China, especially the US. Just on Wednesday, Biden received his COVID-19 origin report. It is possible that the US and other countries will start to ask China for compensation. Therefore, Xi is trying to use Wang's name as a way to buffering the incoming or the soon-to-be incoming compensation claims. Why? Because Wang has often been considered a moderate figure to the outside world. He does not seem to act as tough as Xi Jinping. In this case, it is possible that the US might slow down its push to China and to give this future president a bit more room for negotiation. So the purpose of this story is for the US to soften its stance towards China. There might be other theories that have been floating around on the internet. If you happen to know any, please share with us. Leave us a comment below. As for what I think about this, no matter for what purpose the news was released by Xi himself or his opponents, there is one thing I'm certain of. There is no way Xi will be stepping down willingly. Why do I say that? On one aspect, Xi has made way too many enemies within the party. Since 2012, Xi became China's president. His anti-corruption campaign has been his key method in consolidating his power. Millions of Chinese officials were taken down during the campaign. However, the reason he was doing that was not because he wanted to clean up the deep-rooted wide-scale corruption in China. It was a way for him to win the faction war within the party. Most of these officials who were arrested during the anti-corruption campaign belong to Xi's political enemy, that's Chinese former President Jiang Zemin's faction. So the so-called anti-corruption campaign was just the way Xi cleaned out his enemy. If Xi did step down without his top dog's power, his enemies certainly will not let him go easily. And Xi knows this for certain. He would fight to the end to avoid this from happening. Another aspect, according to drastic moves by Xi lately, he is cracking down on the entertainment industry, on the tech tycoons, etc., shows he is tightening the control over public opinion and consolidate his personal power. Consequently, Xi definitely won't willingly step down by himself, and his enemy doesn't have enough political power to make him step down for the moment. Not to mention that Xi will fight till death to keep his president for life status. We all see how hard he has tried to achieve that. Alright, that's all for today. If you like today's program, please like and subscribe and turn on the notification bell. Thank you for watching Beyond the News. I'm Faye. I'll see you again very soon.